January 3rd, we have a powerful, potent full moon that I would imagine you already feel already in your life. You may have already noticed how sensitive you feel, how easily emotional you become over maybe the smallest thing. You may feel like there's this sense of destiny trying to communicate something to you, even though you might not know exactly yet what it's trying to say. And change is happening all around you. And you have this deep sense that it's going somewhere in your favor. This new chapter is beginning to emerge in your life. And the full moon on January 3rd is the perfect energy for finally ushering this in. You may have felt like you were getting ready for change, getting ready for your new chapter, doing a lot of healing and preparation for the next thing for a long, 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 long time. Now it's finally time to get into it, to get out the show. And I think you're going to like it. It's going to be rewarding when you see just how much your inner work starts to pay off in this coming year, starting off with this powerful full moon on January 3rd. So in this video right here, I'm going to go ahead and now break it down into 3 more digestible themes so you can really ground in what I'm saying and make the most out of this powerful full moon we have here. Theme number 1, breaking free from old identities. Definitions you've concluded about yourself from a very young age that have stuck with you and continue to kind of limit you and cause you unrest. It's all kind of coming up right now to be released. Because where you're going in this new chapter, it's not a match for that. The new chapter you might already sense is more of like a representation of who you become rather than the person you used to be. But we have echoes of our past that kind of linger with us. And full moons do a really good job of like highlighting that. Now, the experience of this highlighting I speak of is not all that, it's not that comfortable. You might feel very, very, the way it comes on a lot of times is like you're very easily triggered, basically. Little things can create quite a rise out of you. And initially it's like this flooding of energy and emotion that seems out of place. And people might chalk it up to having anxiety or it's just like one of the symptoms of the full moons. But if you explore it, you can find a lot of insight. It's like something you've been carrying around that's been affecting you, limiting you, weighing you down is finally like you can see it, you can feel it, you can taste it. And many people shy away from it because it's so uncomfortable, which is understandable. You wouldn't have suppressed it otherwise, but here it is nonetheless. Difficult to hide from during the full moon period. I say, why not dive in? Why not ask the big, difficult questions? Where is this really coming from? Where are these emotions really stemming from? You'll quickly see it has nothing to do with what's happening on the surface. I'll give you an example. The other day, I was at the end of one of my martial arts classes, and I had gone twice. I'd gone to my gym. They have AM and PM classes. I'd happened to go. I went twice this time because my son, for the first time, tried one of the kids' classes. So I was there twice, same instructor, and he made kind of a comment about it at the end of class. He said, "You guys should all be more like Victor. He comes twice a day," that kind of thing. And as he was kind of like praising me, I heard someone say, like under their breath, "Teacher's pet." And when I heard teacher's pet, I noticed somebody else laughed at that. And they were just kidding around. It's kind of like an atmosphere of, it's a very carefree, easygoing atmosphere. They're just kidding around. I know they didn't mean anything by it. And I know I'm not a teacher's pet, but like that struck a chord with me. I left like the workout feeling so disoriented and so consumed with this like anxiety about, oh my God, do people think I'm a teacher's pet? Am I a teacher's pet? Am I unconsciously sucking up to the teacher in some like icky way that I'm not aware of? All these feelings seem to be pointing to that maybe the possibility. But as I kind of like sat within on the ride home, I was thinking like, I know I'm not a teacher's pet. I kind of go in, I'm quiet, I do my thing, and that's not it. And then I was like, okay, if some people perceive me as a teacher's pet, oh well. I went through this whole like inner dialogue. And what what started to kind of come up for me as I investigated this was that this experience was eerily similar to experiences I had as a young child and the social pressures I had as a very, very young kid, going all the way back to the very first time I went to school. As for you as well, it's a very different social environment than the safe little sanctuary of mom and dad in your house and maybe the couple of neighborhood kids. And it reminded me that I didn't handle that all that well. I did struggle when I was younger. I had a lot of anxiety, and I didn't really know what to do. Didn't know how to be normal, you might say, and it stuck with me. And this experience was kind of bringing to the surface these old feelings, which at the time led to these untrue conclusions that, oh, I'm not faring well in this new circumstance. I'm not enough. There's something wrong with me. I need to become something bigger and better so I might become average and fit in with all these new people. And what I realize is that that sentiment, that belief about me inherently being devoid of some essential thing that most people have naturally has caused me a great deal of unrest. It's caused me a lot of stress. It's caused me to shy away from things my soul has been pulling me to do, wanting me to do. It's a contradiction. On one hand, you might feel as well, you might maybe in some other way you relate where on one hand you feel drawn to something, to pursue something, a creative project, a new business, a new career change, just a new direction in life to explore. And on one hand, this feels more you than ever before. It feels like this is it. This resonates so deeply. And how nice would it be to pursue this and to do this and to become this? At the same time, there are these old shackles of your past, parts of your psyche saying, this is not you. You can't do that. So that's kind of what was born, at least for me, from that one little itty bitty comment. So again, I say this because these full moons tend to agitate people. In fact, crime is even said to go up during full moon periods because most people, they don't know what to do with this anxiety, this heightened awareness. They just take it out on each other. And it's understandable because it's a new level of emotional intensity you're feeling. And it is oftentimes uncomfortable because it's stemming from feelings you suppressed in the past. But if you can do the opposite of what normal people would do, most people would do and actually say, oh, wow, what is this? What is this trying to tell me? And the good news is whatever you fear it might be it's never what it is. Whatever you discover, it's usually a false truth, a false belief, a false assumption about you, about your worth, about your power, about your capabilities. And this uncomfortable experience can lead to tremendous breakthroughs and not what many people call like shifting identities, but more so falling away of the false identities, leaving all that's left, which is the true you, the true self, the powerful self, the eternal self, the self that is connected to spirit, that is an antenna for downloads that come from God knows where, your higher self, the universe, who knows? One that is inherently loving, lovable, strong, clear, purpose-driven, amazing, radiant, unique, special. Those are the real qualities that for most of us have been buried underneath all of these like childhood conclusions and false assumptions and false identities that if you are willing to go into the feelings, this full moon can help you in clearing them away and discovering just how magnificent and powerful you are and have always been. Theme number 2, it's a time of action. It's a time of doing versus thinking. It's kind of a shift because for a while you may have felt like things were stagnant and maybe you've been wanting to do something, but you've just been so unclear as to like what to do, how to like proceed now in your life that you just got the sense that it's just not time. It's just not time yet. There's no clarity. You don't know what to do necessarily. And you just got to kind of sit Patiently or impatiently, regardless, you sit in the unknown. You wait. You wait and you wait and you wait. And you heal, you look at yourself, things happen, you get little glimpses of insights here and there. But for a while, a lot of us have just been kind of waiting. But now's the time, what I would say, you can take it for what it's worth, give it a try. I'd say it's time to act. And what I've learned is that when it becomes time where like the best mode of action is to get out there and do your thing, even if you're still not quite clear, that time happens well before our preferred amount of clarity and certainty. It's kind of like the prison cell has sort of fallen and you're still kind of waiting around, waiting for someone to say, all right, off you go, you're good, you're free. I don't feel free. What about this? That's kind of where a lot of us are. And maybe you do. Maybe you stumble out of your little cell for a while and you're like, I still don't know what I'm doing. Nothing's happening. I'm trying things and they're not working. I'm attempting things, thinking for a time I know where I'm going, and then I realize I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. Back to the cell, back to square one. And it can be like that for quite a while. What I've learned is this sort of sloppy experimental action, doing your best to act upon what you feel is most authentic for you, even if many of your attempts are not it necessarily. All of it gives you clarity. All of it gives you feedback. All of the tangents are actually part of you moving forward. And it's a time that you will be able to gain traction. And I've been going through this myself in my own life with a book. I talk about writing a book all the time, and I have like 6 different books I've been kind of dabbling with. And I've written decent portions of chapters and sections of books that are just sitting there. And a lot of it can be so frustrating to wake up and to do something and you don't even know if it's the right thing. You don't know where it's going to lead. You don't know if you're wasting your time. But over time, what I found with these sort of creative projects especially is that that's just kind of how it goes. It goes, and it's like your bold determination is eventually rewarded with clarity and discovery of something else, something that you could have never conceived of or planned for, begins to finally crack and emerge and take on a whole life of its own. And many people can sense that's how awesome this is going to be. And they're waiting for it to just kind of appear rather than putting on their gloves, digging and getting their hands dirty and excavating that, whatever that thing is for you. And a lot of times you're going to be just chipping at rocks, feeling like you're going nowhere, tired at the end of the day, having accomplished nothing, wondering, am I just wasting my time? But if you can just keep at it, keep going, keep persistent, put in the work, get in the reps. You don't need motivation. You don't need inspiration. You just need discipline. You need to just go for it. Now, there's a time, again, to wait. There's a time where this approach is not ideal. You run into like unnecessary problems and snags. This is not one of those times. This is one of those times where you can do it. You can make it happen. And your initial efforts, while they might seem misguided, are part of the process of this unraveling of finding out what you're really meant to do. Number 3, it's a time of seeing firsthand how your purpose, how your passion, how your highest excitement, whether indirectly or directly, will support you. Some of you watching right now, I would bet, feel this strong like knowing that you're to do something, but your mind says, I don't have time for that. I can't make any money with that. It feels kind of like in a perfect world, I suppose, if I had nothing else to do, no bills to pay, I could do that. But I live in the real world. I can't do that. That's not going to work for me. It's just not in the cards right now. Our mind is so limited. Only our mind would say something so absurd that your passion has to directly support you. What if it indirectly supports you? What if by doing this thing, painting your painting, writing your book, whatever it is, what if that puts you in your peak states of consciousness And if you can do that and go there and expand out in that way on a regular basis, who knows what can happen, what kind of ideas you can have about maybe other ways of getting supported. I also find that it happens sometimes very mysteriously, honestly. And I'll give an example. As I mentioned, I've been trying to write this book, writing the book and kind of like spinning my wheels, it seems, at times. And this last like period of time, I am so blessed and so grateful because something truly beyond what I even thought I was capable of is starting to finally come through. And I had just an amazing writing session just this morning, actually. And right after that, I felt like on fire. Now, this book is not doing anything for me or my family or even you. It's just sitting there in my little notebook in on my word processing thing. It hasn't earned or yielded anything. And it's a far cry from becoming eventually what? A $10 book I sell on Amazon and make, I don't know, 30% of the revenue. I don't know. I don't know. This thing is probably not going to make me millions of dollars. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I feel just so called to do it. And anyway, I had this amazing session this morning. I popped on my computer and one of my other businesses, which has been kind of like stagnant and struggling for a while, all of a sudden, like, boop, there's all this stuff happening, all this energy finally moving. Things that were stagnant for a while there are finally moving in a really big and powerful direction, all sort of without even me having a hand in it necessarily. I've seen this time and time and time again. People who give their purpose an outlet, give their passion an opportunity to express itself, sometimes that can become the thing. Oftentimes it is, but it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to also know, well, which is it? Is it going to support me or is it? You don't have to know. You just have to do it. Because doing the thing, it puts you in alignment with your true self. And when you're more in alignment with your true self, things happen. Synchronicities and opportunities and all this crazy, these beautiful examples of harmony, of being in harmony with your true core natural self. It's reflected in your reality. And it can be reflected in a myriad of different ways, all unique to the individual based upon what you need at this moment of your individual life. And it's not your concern. You don't have to worry about that. I know it's hard. I say this also for myself because I've been so apprehensive to write this book for the same reason I'm talking about. In my mind, it's like, bro, you got 3 kids to raise. You got different things you do for your business. And writing a book is a tremendous creative undertaking, requiring a lot of energy, way more than I anticipated. And I constantly am asking myself, like, is this smart to do? Is this seems like just not the smartest thing, not the time to be doing such a thing. And yet my soul has been telling me and is telling me otherwise. Your soul has a different idea of timing and a different understanding of how things ought to look and ought to unfold. And it's so hard to trust because it's so oftentimes counterintuitive, backwards from the way we would rationally think about progressing in life. But it's because it has the ability to kind of shift you and adjust you and progress you in faster, better ways that are just something you can't fathom it. You can't premeditate all this. And if you really try to, it just messes it up and you kind of disrupt the flow. But to do this, it requires what I found a tremendous amount of courage and like faith, not trust. I don't trust. I'm like on the fence about this still working out for me, but I have enough faith. Something in me is saying, in spite of my fear, I still on some level think it's the smartest thing to do, the best thing for me, for the world, for my family. And I find myself doing it. Then what I'm saying now is this full moon might give you your own experience, your own validating confirmation that I just had this morning, where by going out and doing your thing, you will see how life can support you you can see how life can support you, how it has that capability, basically. Most of this is all new to humanity. Like living a life of authenticity and making conscious choices to move yourself and your life in the direction of increasing alignment. No one told us that this is something we could do. No one told us that this is like, I would dare I say, becoming almost essential, because we all are experiencing in our own way how painful it can be, how disjointed we can feel when we're not in alignment, when we're like denying and suppressing and resisting parts of ourselves. That causes problems big time. So it's like, sometimes I feel like we have no choice but to just let go and to yield to the will of our higher knowing in our spirit. But this full moon is a beautiful opportunity to remind you of what you already know, that you're safe to trust it. You're safe to move forward in this new direction, on this new path. It's going to work out. It is working out.